Welcome back to another BRG Speed Spa moment. Today, we're doing a walk around of Greg's 1970 Ford Mustang Mach 1. The real deal with its original shaker hood and a 351 Cleveland under it. Greg brought it in just for a tune-up, but like most projects around here, it snowballed fast. When the car first showed up, the shaker air cleaner wouldn't fit because of the distributor. But around here, we've got a few tricks up our sleeve. We swapped in a crab-style distributor cap. All the electrodes come out the sides instead of the top. Not only does it look sharp, but it gave us the clearance we needed to get that shaker back where it belongs. We also ditched the old Edelbrock carburetor and went with a Quick Fuel 650. Way more tunable, better optimization, and a finer spray pattern. All of it adds up to more efficient combustion. The dyno backed it up, plus 23 horsepower and 18 pound-feet of torque. Not bad for what started as a simple tune-up. On the first test drive, though, the steering was borderline dangerous, so Greg gave us the go-ahead to convert it to rack and pinion steering. Getting it to mount right took some work. We don't just like bolting things on. No matter how tight you bring the bolts down, even past their torque, the part's still going to move. We made molds, modeled everything in CAD, welded the mount solid, and used proper shoulder bolts. Now that rack's locked into the frame like it grew there. Next up, the shaker scoop. We took it all the way down to bare metal, repainted it, added new trim, and installed a fresh vacuum motor. It came out just like it did the day it rolled off the line. Maybe better. Then Greg mentioned a crack in the left shock tower, and both Chad and Casey just groaned. What we hoped was a quick fix turned into a full teardown. Engine, suspension, fenders, radiator, bumper. The whole front end had to come apart. Chad handled the removal.
And here is Mr.
Brute
Hammer
force with a surgeon's touch.
Doing what Mr. Hammer does best. Beat it into submission.
Beat it away from where it needs to be. We got a bunch to go. That's the first
Once the new towers showed up, we found a 3/4 inch gap. Totally unacceptable. Customer service was useless. Turns out these parts were made in Taiwan for Classic Industries, and their jig was way off. We grabbed another kit from a different supplier, still had to muscle it with 2 guys and a torch to make it right, but in the end, everything lined up the way it should have from the start.
Got it? Hold on. Is it tight? That's good, Chad. That's good. That's good. What? That's good.
Good blow on it. I was kidding. Okay, let go of it. There you go.
Close enough. Leave it around.
Just get both of them, wheat hot. Get both sides wheat hot.
After that was buttoned up, we went ahead and upgraded the suspension front and rear with a set of fully adjustable Viking shock absorbers. They gave us tons of tunability and made a huge difference in how this car drives and handles. Since everything was apart, we took the time to clean up the engine bay. We tried a DIY Rhino Liner type coating, and honestly, the results are killer. Durable, clean, and sharp. You'll see Jason, our paint guy, using aluminum foil instead of tape and paper for masking. It works just as well, takes a third of the time, and costs next to nothing. While we were at it, We also upgraded to a computer-controlled 4-speed transmission with a US shift controller. Problem was, the transmission didn't fit the motor. We had to machine an adapter, rework the starter mount, and trim a small tab on the block. Once everything was aligned and bolted down with shoulder bolts, it fit perfectly. And now it shifts like butter. Here's the finished product. Everything back together and running strong. Listen when those cutouts open. That's pure attitude. What started as a simple tune-up turned into a near-full rebuild, and it fought us every step of the way. But when the dust settled, Greg's Mach 1 turned out exactly the way he envisioned it. And, just for the record, we're not sponsored or paid by any of the companies whose products we mention. We use what we know works and delivers results. The engine bay's clean, easy to service, and just flat out looks right. The only things left are the interior and paint, which Jason and Greg are already planning out. That's another BRG Speed Spa moment, where good enough never is. And remember, we here at BRG have a sickness for your quickness.